Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 57 of Marketing Corner.
Yay!
Yay! How you doing? How you doing?
I'm good. Back in the studio, doing some cool stuff.
Super warm studio.
Super warm studio. It's this humid weather kind of thing in Denmark right now. It's like
24 degrees.
24 degrees, and then it's sunny, and then it's raining. It's like I don't know. I'm not
Raphael,
hating it, but I'm not loving it either.
and Raphael's on vacation, so if the sound is messed up,
Yeah, you know why. We love you, Raph. We need you.
please never leave again. Cool. So Casper, what are we going to be discussing today?
So maybe this is one of those like late to the show episode kind of thing, but if you haven't heard already, recently, Threads was launched in the U.S. and some other parts of the world, but mainly the U.S. and not here in Europe yet, where we are based. So we haven't tried it yet. But Threads was launched, and just a quick rundown of what it is. It's a Meta product, so it's by Facebook and those guys, and let's just put it like it is. It's a straight up Twitter copy. And I think the reason we're debating this or talking about this today is that they reached more than 100 million users in less than a week, which is record breaking, and like they broke a bunch of records and all that stuff. And now time has passed a little bit, and there's some interesting findings happening. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's your impression of Threads so far? Let's put it that way.
A Me Too product, I will say, without divulging too much what we talked about.
Yeah.
I mean, I was amazed, but I felt like the rush to join Threads was mostly people who were pissed off at Elon Musk and X now. Can we call it X?
We can call it X.
We call it X, Twitter.
Yeah.
So I think it was that, but then I think actually
X Twitter. This almost like sounds like having an X.
Yeah.
It's
My
kinda-
X Twitter.
Yeah. It's actually like, was kind of like, wasn't it that, if I'm not mistaken, the X, like the rebrand was released like a week after.
Yeah, it was
Right?
really close.
That was super smart.
Mm.
Like, you gotta give credit. I don't know if that's Elon who came up with that, but rebranding a week after was super smart because it changed the narrative, right?
Yeah. No one's talking about that. They're talking about this ugly ass X in my
Exactly.
app, but it got people talking.
It got people talking, and suddenly Twitter or X was back on the menu, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But I think the rush was forget Twitter, forget X, we don't need it, we've got something else, and then the proof is in the pudding, and people are like, actually, this isn't for me, because 3 weeks after the daily numbers dropped off a cliff, right?
Yeah, and so 100 million people signed up, which is I think the fastest growing app right now ever.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly, in case you're wondering why did this happen, was of course because Facebook just went on Instagram and said, hey guys, if you have an Instagram account, you get threats like this. And then it just activated, boom, like people had to click a button, and then suddenly they had 100 million users.
Which is smart.
Super smart. Holy moly. Go-to-market strategy 101. But where it fails and where this gets interesting is that the user adoption is just falling off a cliff. And it doesn't really surprise me, right? It's always easy to come with this stuff in hindsight, right?
Yeah, of course.
But hindsight is blessed. But my point is, like, and at the end of the day, Threads, at least right now, is literally just a worse Twitter. There's no the only benefit of using Threads right now is that it's not Twitter, if you can call that a benefit, right? Because it's not Elon Musk, right? It doesn't have, like, there's a bunch of features you don't have, right? Like, it doesn't have a desktop app. You need to have an Instagram account. It doesn't support GIFs, doesn't support direct messages. Like, there's a lot of stuff that it doesn't support. Like, if you're on Twitter, you can write longer messages. It's a bit more Threads are a bit more streamlined like that. You can call this a benefit. There's no ads right now, so you can't do ads. Well, I would say that's probably a good thing for user adoption stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's a lot of like features, especially I think the desktop app for a lot of users. I'm not a big Twitter user myself, X user, but that's a big thing. So right now you're just joining a new platform.
Yeah.
For the sake of joining a platform.
Yeah. For almost like a protest join.
Yeah, like a protest join.
Yeah. So I think, and that brings us to the wider conversation of user adoption, user retention. How do you do it? How do you fail at it?
Yeah, because we've seen this before.
Yeah,
like, in
exactly.
case you've forgotten when you listen to this is cookie cutter what happened with Clubhouse.
Clubhouse? What's Clubhouse?
Exactly. And in case you forgot, like, Clubhouse was this like audio, let's meet in groups platform that skyrocketed and then fell off a fucking cliff.
And for those marketers out there, which is probably most of you listening, you'll know it as the new channel that your CEO wanted you to get on.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Without any idea whether or not it was
Exactly.
worth my time, right?
Exactly.
I was there. Were you there?
I was there.
Yeah,
and
was
I
on
joined a
Clubhouse.
few meetings, and then I
Yeah.
discovered this is dog shit. I was in a meeting, like in a clubhouse. I don't know, what do you call a pod? Was it a pod?
Houses. Was it houses?
Houses? I can't
I
remember.
don't even remember. It wasn't even that long ago.
It's something like that, right? And you join these like houses or pods or whatever it is, rooms, and you'd just be like 5 people talking in over each other, and it'd be like, this sounds like, I don't know. Do you remember Ventrilo?
Yeah.
VT?
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to play like World of Warcraft back in my nerdy younger days.
Nerd.
If I didn't have kids, I would still play. But back then, this was before Zoom and all that fancy stuff. So we had Ventrilo, and it was so like I remember all these like before you discovered push to talk and stuff, people would talk in over each other all the freaking time. So it'd be like 40 people in these like rooms, and people would talk over each other, blah 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 blah, shouting, and like that's how I felt Clubhouse was. And it's like, then you had more people on stage, and like, yeah, we invite people on stage, and like, okay, cool. Why? I'd be like, and like, I was like, how do I make this work for me? Like, I couldn't figure it out. So I think that's why people dropped it.
Yeah. It was another Me Too product.
So
it was, just like Zoom, just like, in a way.
This is like, but at least for me, like, you can say a lot about Clubhouse, but for at least Clubhouse had a somewhat original idea. Like, it was different. Like, was it a good idea? Perhaps not, but it was different, right? Like, it was trying something different. Threads is not trying anything different.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I don't want to bet against Mark Zuckerberg right now. Like he's burned a lot of money on VR, like a lot of dough. But is he gonna burn money on Threads? Who knows? I don't know. Like, but betting against him doesn't really seem like the best option right now. Like,
I'm not gonna bet against any of those guys. Let's be honest; they'll always figure something out. I mean,
They'll
I'm
always
not
become
Elon's biggest
something.
fan. I'm not Elon's biggest fan, but
yeah,
I
betting
can
against him is
respect-
also not the smartest choice.
Yeah,
right? Like,
exactly.
he makes it happen, man. So,
yeah. But I think that I mean, we wanted to talk a little bit about the wider case that Threads shows of, like, why did it fail?
Yeah.
And what can we learn from that, right? And what can we marketers, especially if you work in SaaS, if you work in an app, it's all about user stickiness, user retention, user adoption. So let's give the people what they want.
But I think, like, so one of the things we can talk about all these features that Threads is lacking. But fundamentally for me, and this is like goes down the path why it won't succeed, let's call it that, is that it's lacking the why. Yeah. Like, it's fundamentally lacking the why I should come back feature. Right now, like, from my perspective, if it came to Europe tomorrow, I would definitely go download and try it. But the main reason I would try it would most likely to be that I know every time there's a new platform, if that platform sticks around, you have a golden opportunity to be the first one on there and gain a lot of traction, gain a lot of followers.
Yep.
Like, that's how a lot of people got super popular on Twitter, and that stuck around, right?
Yeah, TikTok,
same exactly, a perfect example, right? But for me, beyond that, like, there's no reason why. Like, I wouldn't, if my mom said, hey, should I be on Threads? I'd be like, I have no idea why you should be.
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, what are they offering that you don't get anywhere else?
And I think something like that, and there's other apps out there like this, where the value is in the fact you can interact with other people.
Yeah.
So I think having 100 million users is like, cool, who can I interact with out there?
Yes.
But that was the thing with Twitter, right? And I remember when Twitter first came out, and someone who was using it, and I was a bit like, I don't understand this, boomer. They said it's basically like Facebook, where you can send messages to celebrities. And sometimes they write back.
That's a good point, though.
And I will say, I'm very excited by this, that I sent a tweet at Lizzo, and she responded.
What?
And I'm still dining out on this. This happened back in May.
Okay, wow.
So
I was about to say, was this before her crisis? Or?
it was before the crisis, but
Jeez.
she's okay now.
Yeah.
But still, it was like I was in a taxi with my colleague. We were coming back from the AWS conference in Stockholm, and Lizzo tweeted at me.
That's pretty
and
cool.
in the taxi, I'm like, ah! Okay. So that is the value of
my
Twitter.
wife actually has a Lizzo t-shirt. And during the crisis, she was like, I don't know if I need to, should I be wearing this right now?
Yes.
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 Yes,
Yes.
but Beyonce renounced her, right?
Did she?
Yeah, I think
know.
so.
Welcome to Pop Culture Corner with Casper and Jen.
Hey, this is
I
fun.
heard that she was. They found out that it wasn't her, but it was some of her people, and
Oh,
it turned out to not all be as bad as they say.
Time will
But
tell.
I will also hear what I want to hear because I love her.
Okay, shots fired, or I don't know.
Hugs given.
Back to
But
user
anyway,
adoption.
user adoption.
But the whole point and like the main fundamental is there's no stickiness to threads right
Exactly.
now. There's no stickiness.
Mhm.
Like, and that's the fundamental problem. It was the same reason Clubhouse also failed. There was no reason to come back.
Yeah.
Like there was no stickiness.
Mhm.
Like there was no built-in good notification system that drives users back.
Mhm.
And there's also like they've been out in like threads and Mark Zuckerberg and team are like, hey, that's what we're working on right now, retention. Like it makes sense, but my point is like, do you launch a product without having that ready?
Yeah, I think that's. A
Is
really
that
good point.
smart?
Yeah.
Um,
Because you burn bridges too. You could burn bridges. People are like, this app sucks. I'm not going to do it. And then they go
I
back.
tried I want to say I tried Clubhouse twice.
Mm.
I tried it once, the first initial hype. Then I said, okay, gotta try it again, and then I was out.
Yeah.
Then I've never opened it again.
I think also because Clubhouse was big during the pandemic, right? And we
Yeah.
couldn't go out. And I think we had maybe Zoom fatigue.
Yeah.
So it's not, I think they tried to latch on to the trend that we're all at home, but at the same time, we're all day long in a video call or some kind of Zoom meeting. And then all of a sudden, in my free time now, I'm going to go on a video. Like that was pretty much the last thing I want to do. I was
Yeah.
only on it because our C-level wanted to launch that as a new channel.
Yeah.
And so we did a couple of Clubhouse things, but we just got so little traction that we canned it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because like at the end of the day, it's about the user experience, right? And the
Mhm.
user experience just wasn't good.
Yeah.
Like it just wasn't good. And it's the same for threads. Like when you're not offering a new user experience in any way that drives retention, like why?
But if we break it down in the stages, I think
Yeah.
the launching of it,
Yeah.
very smart.
Super smart.
Super
Go to market
easy,
strategy on
very
point.
good.
Spot
It's
on.
just
Couldn't be
what's
better.
super easy, make it super user friendly. Literally click a button. Now I have a Threads account. But then comes the next step, which is what is there to do there?
Yeah.
And it's the same if I launch an app for my business. What is it that we can do on the app? And
Yeah.
when I look at it, can I figure out what the hell I'm supposed to do? A lot of us have that in SaaS, in businesses where we're trying to disrupt things.
Yeah.
And I think something with Threads is like, okay, you have all these people who are used to Twitter, so their frame of reference is Twitter. If you're not like Twitter, people are going to take a little bit longer to figure out what to do, and no one wants to do that.
No.
I just want instant gratification. I want what
Instant
I came here to get here.
And that's, if you go back to your TikTok example, I think that's one of the things that TikTok was so smart about, has been like super smart about. If you go to TikTok and you don't have an account, the algorithm will still feed you. Like it will learn anything like super fast.
Yeah.
So you don't actually have to go and interact with it to get gratification.
Mm-hmm.
So TikTok catches you like right off the bat.
Mhm.
Does Threads do that? Like, admittedly, I haven't tried that, but it's not my, like, based on what I've heard and read, it's not the case.
Yeah.
It's not the case. It doesn't really, like, it tells you a little bit, the benefit it has that it links up to your Instagram, right?
Mm.
So if I'm not mistaken, I think it ties up to who you're following and engaging with on Instagram, and then you can follow and engage them on Threads. That's cool.
Yeah.
I think that's powerful, and I think that's kind of the direction you want to go
That's
in.
very smart, yeah.
But is that enough? I'm not too sure.
And I think a lot of people hold up like the Dropbox example.
Yeah.
Of getting new user adoption, right? They solved a problem that
Yeah.
people had. There wasn't really anything like it, maybe Google Drive, but
Yeah.
to a lesser extent. And then they had their referral program
Yes.
where you got extra data storage if you referred someone. And their growth, according to the interwebs, 3,900% growth.
Yeah,
very quickly.
they in a year.
Yeah.
Like from.
But
September
it also
to
had the
September.
stickiness because
Yeah.
all my shit's in there now.
Exactly.
You
No,
know?
it's super smart. No.
Very smart.
And they used the product to like that was a classic like referral program.
Yeah.
Scheme.
Yeah. So if you're thinking of launching one, check out what Dropbox did.
I think Dropbox is a classic example.
Yeah,
But it's
it's in all
also
books.
I feel like it's a harder thing to do to pull off these days because you need a product application that people can't get anywhere else.
Exactly.
And back then, especially back then, referral programs online, digitally, I think it was before the 10s, like 2010 or something, 2008 if I recall correctly. And back then, referral programs, at least online, wasn't really like, yes, it was still a thing, and it had been a thing, but it wasn't huge. Like,
Yeah.
Nowadays, everybody knows this. I don't want to fucking send this to my friends.
Don't you want that Amazon gift card,
Oh,
Casper?
fuck off. G2, please don't send me
Stop
anymore.
with the
Like,
G2.
oh, God.
Yeah, I don't think those really work, but referral programs is another episode. But I just think in
we'll do
terms of
that.
driving adoption, that was a very smart way to do it.
Definitely.
But I think when I talk about Me Too products, it's Threads, Twitter. You're not
Yeah.
offering anything different. You're not solving a problem that Twitter had. The only problem Twitter had was Elon Musk ran it.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly.
But Mark Zuckerberg, sorry, dude, you're not much better.
No, exactly.
But I think, yeah, with a lot of these products, Clubhouse as well, I can get this somewhere else, and it's more intuitive.
It's kind of like, okay, I'm going off a rail here, but
Here we go.
But hear me out. It's kind of funny because, like, at the moment, I feel like, so Mark Zuckerberg used to be like the villain. Let's call him the villain,
Mhm.
right? A little bit. Like, everyone's like, Cambridge Analytica, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then Elon Musk came around and, like,
Hold my beer.
and we were like, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Then he bought Twitter, fired half the staff, boom, boom, changed a bunch of things. And now we're like, yeah, this Mark Zuckerberg guy, he's not too bad. Like,
Yeah.
it's like let's give him the shot to create a new Threads. He's
Yeah.
gonna be better. And like, what? What happened here?
Yeah.
But maybe it's just like, okay, maybe we just prefer Mark. I don't fucking know. But like, it's weird, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's very weird. And I like, as a country that is not using Twitter that
Yeah.
much, like, we don't
Yeah.
use it that much in Scandinavia. So stop trying to get us to use it because it doesn't happen.
Same with
Um,
WhatsApp.
I'm on WhatsApp all the time.
Yeah, but you're American. Like Danes,
How
they fucking
dare
don't
you.
use WhatsApp. It's like
Yeah, no,
crazy.
Danes use Facebook Messenger.
Yeah,
I have to
use
have
Messenger,
Facebook
all the
Messenger
time.
to get in touch with even my partner. I'm like, can you WhatsApp me? No, Facebook Messenger.
What exactly?
They're also on Snapchat, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. But like, truth be told, I would be on WhatsApp if somebody else was on WhatsApp.
Yeah,
It's kind of like I don't want to be the chicken or egg like kind of issue.
you don't want to be the first. You're
I don't
not a
wanna be first.
trailblazer, Casper.
Not in that regard. I'm actually super slow on these things. Like,
Yeah, me too.
sometimes. Yeah.
It does take some time. Yeah, we're kind of all over the place on this episode,
No,
but
I think it's like
yeah.
I think it's just like it's an interesting case study of saying if you don't have anything sticky to your product, be careful with launching too soon. I think they launched too soon. I think that's my overall take on this. I think they launched based on how many resources they have at their capability, maybe a month too soon.
Yeah, they
I don't understand why they don't have direct messages and they don't have a desktop app.
I think they were.
Don't tell me they can't develop that in a month.
Yeah, I agree.
Come on, like
Yeah,
it's
they
not.
can do-
No hard feelings. They're huge.
Yeah.
There's like thousands of people, I don't know, thousands working on this. You can develop a desktop app
Yeah.
in a
I
month.
think they were trying to jump on the anti-Elon sentiment,
I get it.
but yeah, they missed the mark because the second they did that, he countered, and he's back in.
You change the narrative, right?
Change the narrative again.
This is
And that
it's a
I
classic
respect.
case study on like PR, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay, when a competitor pops out of nowhere, do a 120 or 180 or
180.
whatever, right? Like
You do 120. It's a little
it's
bit.
a little bit weird, but it's not like
You'll miss a little bit.
You'll
but
miss a little bit. But do a 180, like do a rebrand or something. Do something, a huge splash. And he did. Change the name and change the logo. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, now we're talking about.
And I'm one of those people who organize my apps by color, and now
That fucked you up.
fuck me up big time.
But it actually, like, even before I heard the name change, I looked at my phone. I was like, what's going on here? It's weird.
Yeah.
So
And again, it got our attention.
yeah,
Maybe not the right attention, but
I feel like here's a crazy idea.
hot take.
Should they change logo often? Oftener,
More often.
more often.
Yeah.
Because like it would get my attention. I don't know. Maybe it's a bad idea.
I mean, traditional thought on that would be no, because you want to associate something with your brand. But I think you raise a good point that a lot of eyeballs all of a sudden were like, "Whoa,
What happened here?
what happened here?"
I remember who do you know who changed their logo quite frequently? Clubhouse. And I noticed. I didn't visit the app, but I noticed.
Didn't open it.
Yeah,
Didn't open it.
Didn't go there. Sorry,
Yeah.
Clubhouse.
But
nice
one
try.
of the things also, I mean, we're getting close to time, but I think
Yeah.
something that's very interesting about X, and I still don't know how I feel about it, is that he's almost crowdsourcing features.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think any product person I talk to is like, "Ugh, you
Yeah.
never want to do that." But it's starting a conversation. It's in the news. I'm on X, but I'm not on X because it's mean internet basically.
Sounds like a pill or something.
It's just, yeah, I'm not on X, guys.
I'm not on Molly either, but
Yeah.
I don't even
Imagine the episode.
Oh God.
No, but I don't know how I feel about that, but
No.
again, it's a smart PR move because I only know about that because it's in my LinkedIn feed. It's in the media.
Yeah.
The blocking of DMs.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
blocking, is it blocking, what is it?
It was blocking of followers, right? Like,
Yeah,
so they couldn't interact with you.
Yeah, he can
Yeah.
block. Yeah, and everyone's up in arms, but everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Keeps popping back up of like on top of
yeah,
the whole trendy who we're talking about.
no such thing as bad news, I guess.
No.
But I guess in terms of preparing for if you're launching your own app,
Yeah.
we should provide some value other than our hot takes, but that's fine. Twitter hot takes
this is one big hot take, right?
is a big hot take. But I think you're absolutely right. Like, have something that people are going to want to use. Understand how you're different.
Yeah, like there's no like classic USP here for me. Like
Yeah.
there's no unique selling point that really hits it home. Like there's a few things, but for me they're like I'm not a powerhouse Twitter user to say if this is meaningful or not.
Right.
But based on my gut feeling and what I know about digital marketing and the space in general, it's not enough. And data is kind of telling me the same thing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they went from 100 million to 10 million
in
no time.
in no time.
Yeah.
Right.
So-
So let's see.
So take that
With a grain of salt.
with a grain of salt.
And go create your app and launch it. Tell us how it goes.
Yeah. And just make it.
Make it sticky, man.
Make it on Twitter.
Yeah, make it our
Everyone's making Twitter these days.
Yeah, it's easy. Apparently, if Facebook can, so can you.
What should our app be called?
Sticky.
Hey, are you on Sticky?
Yeah.
Find me on Sticky.
I love it.
Guys, add us on Sticky.
You heard it here first.
Add us on Sticky.
Spark
see
Force
you
transitions into Sticky.
there. Sport Force.
Sport Force. On that note, thanks
I
for
don't know
listening,
where we're
guys. Thanks for tuning in. See you on Threads.
See you on Sticky.
Bye.
Bye. What we like.
What up? We're back.
We're back. My gin's kicking in.